Hello everyone, this is Professor Kent. Today we are going to do a recording for lesson 19, which is adjustment processing. We're going to, again, you have to load your files from lesson 18, and that's what I'm doing. I'm loading the files from lesson 18, and I'm using a session date 28/02/2021. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do an adjustment batch. That's what we're going to learn, how to do an adjustment processing. Now we have done it in the AR module where you have an debit notes and credit notes. We have done those ones, but this is similar to that, but it's an adjustment batch. So it's an adjustment. So in this case, you could have an adjustment batch or you could have adjustment entry. If it's a normal sales return or allowance, that can be done in the invoice batch or invoice entry. In this case, what we wanted to do in this case, we wanted to do it in the adjustment batch. So in other words, it's not a one invoice we're making an adjustment. We're making an adjustment to a lot of invoices. If we're making to a lot of invoices, we needed to do it in the investment. You could select the adjustment entry, or we could select the adjustment batch. So if I were to do it under the batch, so first what the first module is, the first adjustment is entering adjustments. For that, you needed to create an adjustment batch in here. So in this case, you're going to go into the transaction. From the transaction, what you're going to do is you're going to have create a adjustment batch. So list window, from there you create a new one. When you just let the system do it, and the name of that batch, you could call it will be called an adjustment batch. And this is to be because what we did is we quoted price differently and we charged prices differently. So that's what we're doing is we're doing an adjustment batch. So in this case, I will call it an adjustment batch. And then this is our first entry. When you're doing a first entry, we wanted to know the impact of our accounts. Our impact of our accounts is a lot, it's more than one. In this case, it is for our US customers. So in this case, the first thing we're going to do is you needed to actually know where you making the adjustment to. In this case, we're making an adjustment to accounts receivable. What we're doing is we're making an adjustment batch to, we needed to know exactly which accounts are going to be impacted, which will be the debit account, which we're crediting it. So if you look at exercise 19.1, what we needed to do is you could go to, before you come here, you could go to your posting journals and find out where we made the mistake. So when we coming in here, you're just making a journal entry what we did. So how we do that, you could go to the customer inquiry. I'm just going to short of show you. I'm just going to close it. Sorry. I'm just going to say it. You want to add the entry, I'll say no for this time because I will come back to do that. Now what I wanted to do is I wanted to go, you could go to customer inquiry, and from that customer inquiry you could say where we made the mistake. So that's which batch we are which batch we are fixing. So you could go to anywhere where you did the transaction to fix that. So there's a different way of doing it. In this case you wanted to go to the customer, under the customers, what we wanted to do is you could run the reports before you could do that. We're going to do the same way the book is asking you to do is, they said go to AR customer folder. So then this is my customer folder, and then what we wanted to do is we wanted to do a customer inquiry icon. We're going to double click on that. And then here you are going to look at which customers. In this case, we're going to look at all our US customers. In this case, you could be doing it for all the anything we sold to this US metal customer. So this is what we wanted to do. From there, what we wanted to do is we wanted to do credit status. So in this case, the credit status is, if you look at it, the outstanding balance they owe us is 24,000, 41,000. And what we wanted to do is we wanted to make an adjustment to this. So if I were to do it, if I go here, in this case, what we could do is we could double click on the adjustment and make the adjustment in here. So adjustment window will come. In this case, it is an adjustment that we're making. So double click on adjustment icon batch. So in this case, this is where we're going to come back and check if we did everything right or not. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on new. Once we do the adjustment, it will come right here. So when we went to the credit status, we wanted to know how much our adjustment is to this account. So if you look at it, our outstanding balance is 24,000, and that's what we were making the adjustment to. So we're going to go back to our AR transaction. So we were in the invoice batch. So we're going to double click on your batch, and we already created a new account. In this case, this will be your called an adjustment batch, and this will be the name of your batch. You're gonna do an adjustment. And what are you making an adjustment to? Maybe to February 2023 invoices. That's what you're making the change to. In this case, the date is that. And what we're doing is we're in the entry description, we wanted to do an adjustment. We made a lot of entries for them, and we don't want to go there and sit there and do one at a time. If it's a one, then you can do it under the invoice, under the credit memo. So in this case, US metal invoice. Invoice, and what we're going to do is this is the date. We're doing it at the end of the date. We're going to pick the customer that we're making the change to. In this case, it is 1160, and then the reference will be adjustment to honor our quoted price. So what we quote them differently when we send the invoice, we did it differently. The price that we charges was differently quoted price. And the document number, we're going to do a finder. We could have a different invoices that we're making a changes to. In this case, we have these ones, and we wanted to make a change to one invoice, but in that one invoice we made a lot of changes to that invoice. So in this case, we have 1017, and what we wanted to do is, if I double click on that, and then what we want to do is we wanted to click on it to see the list of the transactions that were posted. So remember when we did the items, so we sold them a lot of items, so that's what we wanted to adjust. And then what we wanted to do is we're going to go to the adjustment line, and then what we wanted to do is the adjustment line, we are making, this is our first line, we're making a change to our revenue account. We're putting it back into our revenue account. If we're putting it back into our revenue account, we are going to debit the revenue account. We're going to debit it, and then in this case the amount will be if you look at it, we're making a change for $300, and it will be our debit. So in this case, we're making a debit to the 300, the charges to that. So if you kind of go back, and you will see it, what my adjustments are. So we're making an adjustment of $300 to, it will be our debit. That'll be your adjustment, and if I add it, you will have it that you if you were there before at the bottom, adjustments are negative. So we made the first adjustment. So now what we can do is you could click the previous button. So in this case, this is my previous button. So if you look at it, we did an adjustment. It's called a debit and a credit. Debit will be a revenue account, and credit will be my receivable to the adjustment account. That's what we did. So now once we done that, now we have we are going to go to our next one, and then we're going to make a adjustment to the next one. So that's what we're going to do. So now we already done it. Now we are going to go to the same person, and now in this case we are applying to the to a different customer in this. So in this case, we could do is we will have or that'll be our next adjustment is to the invoice number 1016, and it is for a new customer. So a new customers we're doing it. So you could do the add button to select the click the add button to select the new one, or you could do it the beside the entry to make it to just to show you what it is. In this case, my next one is also an adjustment entry. Oh, sorry, I made a mistake. Sorry, this is it's the same invoice, but what we're gonna do is I wanted to show you here, but I showed you at the top, but that's all right. Now I'm gonna go to my next one. My next one is for my national electric. We're making an adjustment to national electric, so that's where we're making the adjustment to, and then the customer number is 1140 that we are making it. The reference number, again, it will be to honor the prices. So in this case, to honor the quoted price, and then the falling accounts are impacted. So that's what they're saying. I can always look for the number, so I could be making an adjustment to the invoice. In this case, sometimes it could be in this case I don't see 106. I know that I remember when I did it, I think I entered it to the document number. I added it to. Sometimes what we do is I could be making a mistake when I enter it. So you wanted to make sure you get that invoice number, whatever the invoice number they're telling you, 1016. In this case, I'm going to find it, see if it is there. 1140. Maybe I forgot to put that post that invoice batch, or maybe I just it says 1016. I don't see 1016. It could be that I made a mistake when I input the transactions. In this case, if I go to I'm going to go to my customer inquiry. I'm just going to cancel. You want to add this entry? I'll just cancel it. I can go to my customer inquiry. Minimize that too. Sometimes the system doesn't let you do that, so I think I have to close this, and I'm going to go to my customer inquiry. In this case, which customer I'm making the adjustment to? I'm making an adjustment to 1140. I just want to know if I did the invoices, I posted that invoice or not, because I didn't do all of the transactions. I missed some of them. So I am going to go here, and I'm going to click on my credit status. In this case, the credit status is the balance. They didn't tell us. In this case, we're making an adjustment. It could be a different customer here. I'm going to go to 1050, and that's not right either. So in other words, what we are doing here is we wanted to make an adjustment to the Pacific invoice, and seems like that I did not post that invoice. So if I did not post that invoice, I cannot make the adjustment. So the second adjustment that is given to your 19.1, I cannot do it because I did not do an invoice for that. So I did not do an invoice for that. But if you did it on your own, you should be able to do that, because it could be that maybe I posted to the wrong customer. I don't see invoice 10, I don't see invoice number 1060. So I'm gonna look under, maybe I put it in. See, there was two of them. I thought maybe I put it to the wrong one, but I don't see I don't see that. So I'm going to leave that alone. So this was the other invoice you do. So now we only had two adjustments. I just wanted to show you how to do an adjustment. So the first thing you're going to do is go to the inquiry, and then you're going to, when you look at it, you look at the how much they owe and what the adjustment we're making. And sometimes we could be making an adjustment to a Pacific invoice. So if we're making it a Pacific invoice, you have to apply to that. And once you do that, and the other thing you have to do is, once you do that, you have to post that the adjustment batch again. So you're gonna go to, and it was my adjustment, I can only do one. For your case, you will be doing two adjustment batch, and once you do the adjustment batch, you have to kind of post the adjustment batch and do that, because if I look at it, I don't see the 105 106 invoice, but I could always do it to this one. I can make an adjustment to this one. There's no big deal. So if I make an adjustment, I can make an adjustment to that one too. So if I don't see that invoice, I can give, in this case, in my case, the invoice, I'm making a change to 1005. So I will do a receivable, I mean, sorry, my revenue account, I'm making an adjustment to. So that will be my revenue account that I am making an adjustment. So I will click on the, let's say in this case the sales account is 100, that I'm making it to. What is the account, that what is the amount I'm making an adjustment to? I'm debiting the amount, in this case $15. So I'm making an adjustment for the $15. The difference was the $15. The GL account will be that. I could be doing a credit, or I could be doing a debit. In this case, they want you to do a credit, not a debit. So in this case, it is a credit, and then the debit will be your other adjustments. And I could also be making it, I could have my second account. My second account is my, if it doesn't go again, you could do insert button, and that will be relating to your GST. So in this case, I have a GST account, and it is going to be your GST account 3100. It's a recoverable, and the amount here will be $1.95 on that. So what we are doing is we're making an adjustment. The only difference you're going to have is you're going to have the document I'm applying to is different. In your case, it will be you're applying to document number 1016. So I'm going to add it, and I'm going to close it. So I did two entries. When I did the two entries, now what we have to do is we wanted to post both entries. Once we post it, we are going to make, there's two entries, of course. If you double click on this and you go to the zoom button, it will tell you that they did two entry, and this is the amount, and that is the right amount as the book says. So now what I wanted to do is I wanted to, of course, print it first, and before you print it, you have to make your printer to be destination to be preview in order for you to see it. So I'm going to print it. We're going to print it first before. So if you look at it now, it automatically go to the adjustment. If when you're printing it, it will, you have to tell the system, are you printing invoices, are you printing receipts? So in this case, I will print it. It is taking my system a little bit slow. It is taking, so I did two adjustments there right here. So we're going to close it. I'm going to close it, and what I'm going to do is this one I'm going to delete it because I created the second batch by mistake. So what I'm going to do is make it ready, and I'm going to do a post. And once I post it, I can do the posting adjustment batch. I can do the printer. So I'm going to close it. I'm going to close it. I'm going to go to the transaction, and when I go to the I'm going to do posting journals. Once I do a posting journal, so here I have to select that I wanted to do print an adjustment batch and I want to reprint it, and then it will be exactly the right, that's what you will be handing it in if you're asked to print to post to print the adjustment batch. So this is exactly the same. So this was the batch, this was to create it in the adjustment batch, if you're doing that. But you could also do the adjustment batch if you were to do that. I'm just going to, not in the transaction, I'm just going to show you one thing. So if I was in my invoice batch list, so I hope I have one batch that is open. In this case, see, when we did it previously, we did it, you could all, if you're just making an change to one invoice, then you could always do it from here by doing a credit note or a debit note. You could do it from here. So if I were to do that, I'm just going to do new here, just to batch. It's already posted, so that it won't let me do that. All of the batches are posted, so it won't let me add it. So but I definitely, I can show you in the class. Thank you so much for listening. I had a great time recording the videos for all the lessons. If you have any questions, do reply to my videos and tell me that if you like them or not. Look forward to recording more recording videos for a couple more lessons in this chapter, but we're done at this point. If you are taking a course with me, we're done with all the lessons at this point. Thank you so much. Don't forget to dump your files. Take care and bye for now.